If Tokyo is Japan's brain, Osaka is its beating heart. Wild, warm, and unapologetically alive. This isn't the Japan from postcards. This is the Japan that slurps, shouts, glows, and grooves. Where a midnight noodle bowl tastes like freedom, and neon lights never sleep. Beneath a sky washed in electric pink and sodium blue, Osaka flickers awake, not with a yawn, but a roar. You don't stroll through this city. You tumble through it. Like a marble in a pachinko machine, bouncing off food stalls, arcade lights, laughter, and street music, in Osaka, silence is rare, but hunger is rarer. This city doesn't whisper, it shouts through flavors. No Michelin stars needed. You'll know the best food joints by the smoke in the air and the locals ignoring long lines just to stand in longer ones. Every corner feels like it's auditioning for your attention. Takoyaki, the sizzling octopus balls, are born on hot iron grills, spun like dice, and handed over like treasure. But they betray you every time. One bite too early, and your mouth becomes a volcano. One bite too late, and you're left chasing ghosts. Okonomiyaki sizzles in a dance of batter, cabbage, pork, and sauce that's equal parts chaos and genius. You don't ask what's in it. You just eat. Because here, food is belief. And belief is best when eaten with chopsticks and urgency. If Tokyo is polite jazz, Dotonbori is punk rock at full volume. It's loud, overlit, crammed, but never messy. It's a kind of beauty that wears glitter and doesn't apologize. There's a mechanical crab clawing over a storefront, a clown-faced mascot who's somehow a legend, and the famous runner billboard glowing like a shrine of capitalism. But here's the secret: you're not here to shop. You're here to feel. To be swallowed by the crowd, to be anonymous in the best way, like being part of something bigger, without having to speak. Osaka doesn't try to be modern. It already is. But it keeps its past close, like a childhood toy. Down a flight of stairs and into the world of Japanese arcades, there's color here that no camera can capture. Rows of claw machines grabbing at plush absurdities. Rhythm games that test your soul. Drums you pound until your hands go numb and your heart keeps beat with the bass. These are the places where grown-ups pretend they're kids again. And kids pretend they rule the world. It's loud, pixelated, and slightly chaotic, but in the best way. In a world that's constantly updated, this chaos feels permanent. As much as Osaka yells, it also listens. Turn away from the highways of neon, and slip into its veins, the narrow alleys with two-story izakayas, bicycle parking lots that seem to double as sculpture gardens, and vending machines glowing like ghosts in the mist. Here, it's quieter. The lights are dimmer. You might hear laughter through rice paper doors or a jazz saxophone from somewhere unseen. You might walk past a doorway where an old man has been pouring the same whiskey for 40 years, and behind him, a wall of dusty bottles tells 100 stories you'll never hear. But even in silence, Osaka speaks. Sometimes, the magic of a place isn't in its monuments. It's in the way a stranger says "Irashames" like they've known you forever. It's in the smell of grilled onions at 1 a.m., or the warmth of a train station noodle bowl after missing your last ride. This isn't the kind of city you conquer. It's the kind that leaves something on you. Maybe it's soy sauce on your sleeve. Or the sound of laughter ringing through pachinko halls. Or the taste of a memory you didn't expect to make. Either way, you'll leave different. Osaka is more than a city. It's a mood. A beat. A flavor. And once you feel it, you carry it with you. Even after the lights fade. It's easy to think Osaka is only chaos. But when the street's empty, and the neon dims, something ancient stirs in the silence. The real city, the one older than lights, faster than trains, softer than steel, begins to speak. Most cities tear down their past. Osaka builds around it, and at the heart of it all, a castle that refuses to fade. White stone, green copper, and golden edges pierce through the city like a memory. This is where history wore armor. Where battles were fought not just with swords, but with silence. You expect stillness here. But you'll find kids on school trips, artists sketching turrets, and tourists in rented kimono balancing on gravel paths. The castle isn't just a landmark. It's proof that even in a city addicted to speed, tradition can stand its ground. No city worships convenience like Osaka. And no shrine is holier than the konbini. In a world of 5-star meals and 2-hour queues, nothing hits harder than an egg sandwich under fluorescent lights. Here, 7-Eleven isn't a gas station, it's a philosophy. It's where you buy your midnight snack, your forgotten charger, your hot coffee in a can. Everything's cheap, precise, and almost suspiciously tasty. You may forget the name of a temple, but you won't forget the first time you tried a warm pork bun next to a shelf of anime magazines at 2 a.m. The city isn't built around stations. The stations are the city. If you're looking for a story, start underground. Osaka's train stations aren't just transit, they're ecosystems. Food courts, bookstores, bakeries with smells that drag you by the nose. Trains glide in like clockwork. People flow like blood. Everything is fast, but no one's rushing. It's not speed. It's rhythm, and then there's the sound, robotic chimes, polite announcements, the low thump of footsteps, and every now and then, the lonely beep of a train pulling away just before you reach it. Even that beep feels poetic here. Sometimes, you don't need conversation. You need space to think. Osaka gives you that. If you know where to look, down a side street, past a coin laundry and a rusted bike, there's a doorway that leads to a world quieter than most temples. No signs. No menus in English. Just one wooden stool, the smell of espresso, and jazz playing on a turntable older than the city's tallest building. It's not about coffee here. It's about pause. About watching rain slide down a fogged window, letting your tea go cold, and writing down thoughts you didn't know you had. In a city built on noise, these pockets of peace hit louder than fireworks. Every city has its secrets. Osaka just hides them in plain sight. Step into Shinsekai or Tenma, and you'll see what happens when decades stack on top of each other without bothering to blend. One moment you're in a retro alley that hasn't changed since the 1960s. The next, you're next to a boutique that sells streetwear priced like jewelry. In Osaka, nostalgia isn't curated, it just exists, and the best part? No one's trying to impress you. The city is just doing its thing, whether you're watching or not. Osaka doesn't chase perfection. It chases feeling. That's why you remember it, not for the tourist sites or guidebook pages, but for a stranger helping you buy the wrong train ticket with a smile. For a cat sleeping under a ramen shop curtain. For that one exact moment, standing on a bridge, with the wind, and the lights, and the scent of soy sauce in the air. You won't explain it later. And that's okay. Some cities aren't meant to be explained, they're just meant to be felt. Welcome to the real Osaka. You may leave, but it doesn't leave you. If the day belongs to temples and trains, the night belongs to electricity. Osaka doesn't sleep. It blinks. It hums. It stares back at you, every corner glows like it has something to say. The trick is, you have to listen. The alleys are tighter now. Brighter. Each one a tunnel of red lanterns and karaoke echoes. Smoky air curls from hidden grills, sizzling meats no menu can fully describe. Somewhere, someone laughs too loud. And a cat jumps from a trash bin like a ghost that knows the routine. This isn't chaos. It's theater. And Osaka's nightlife is the stage, no need to follow a plan. The night pulls you in with its smells, its sounds, its promise that anything could happen. And most likely will. Everyone becomes someone else after dark. But in a karaoke booth, they become more of who they really are. You don't need talent here. You need heart, tiny soundproof rooms stacked in towers of anonymity. One mic. One screen. 100 feelings. From businessmen singing 90s rock to students belting ballads between bites of fried chicken, it's not performance, it's release, no spotlight. No judgment. Just pure, raw emotion, digitized on a flat screen with lyrics you barely read. And outside the booth? No one talks about it again. The magic stays locked in that neon cave. Cities like to show off their skylines. But Osaka? It whispers its truth by the water. Walk far enough past the crowds, and the sound changes, the buzz fades into a hush. The only rhythm left is the gentle slap of river against stone. Couples sit on ledges. Cyclists coast by slow. Someone strums a guitar without asking for coins. No performance. Just presence. This isn't a tourist zone. It's a breathing space. The city exhales here, and if you stay long enough, so do you. There's nothing to do here. That's the point. You don't need fine dining to taste memory. You need a plastic stool, steam in the air, and food that speaks fluently in craving. Every city has street food. But Osaka? It celebrates it. Beneath glowing signs and hand-painted menus, there's fire. Skillets clanging, sauces drizzling, chopsticks moving like fingers on a piano. One stall serves only octopus dumplings. The next? Deep-fried mysteries that somehow taste like childhood and hangover cure rolled into one. Locals queue with purpose. Tourists pretend they're discovering something ancient. And everyone eats standing up because no one wants to waste time sitting down. Some people chase the future. Osaka built an entire floor of blinking machines so you can escape from it. Upstairs from a convenience store, you find it, the last arcades. Neon-lit tombs of digital childhood. Claw machines, dance battles, pixel fights that look older than you but feel newer than ever. There are no rules here. Just tokens, sweat, and cheering from strangers who become friends for 90 seconds. It's not nostalgia. It's ritual. Every soundbite a heartbeat. Every joystick a time machine, and no matter how loud it gets, it feels oddly comforting. Like the city saying, yes, this too is part of me. Osaka at night is not about escape. It's about embrace. About stepping into the city's pulse and letting it sync with your own. The street lights dim. The last train pulls away. The city doesn't stop, it just changes tempo, in the silence between neon flickers and vending machine hums. You realize, you didn't just explore the nightlife, you lived inside it. Osaka doesn't sell dreams. It lives them. One bite, one song, one midnight walk at a time. Everyone shows you the Osaka of color, of chaos, of sound. But what if the most beautiful version of the city whispers instead of shouts? Osaka doesn't wake up. It unfolds. There are no horns blaring. No traffic snarls. Just the slow hum of scooters. The first bakery pulling up its shutter. The neighborhood cat stretching on a mailbox like it owns the post. This is not the Osaka in travel brochures. No temples. No takoyaki, this is laundry on third-floor balconies. A grandmother watering bonsai. A mailman who knows every door. A shop that hasn't changed since cassette tapes were cool. There's a market where no one sells, they share. Fresh vegetables? Yes. But also gossip. Smiles, and that one unforgettable tofu you'll never find again. Past the glossy malls is a covered arcade, the kind lit with flickering bulbs and faded banners. Here, nothing is loud, except kindness. Each vendor greets you like they've been waiting since yesterday. Every customer nods like family. There's a rhythm here. Cash passed hand to hand. Scales tipping. Chopsticks snapping samples. You don't understand the language. But somehow, you understand everything. No Wi-Fi. No filters. Just coffee, and time you never realized you were missing. Hidden behind a narrow door, there's a room with 4 chairs and one man who's been making the same cup for 40 years. The coffee is slow. The music is slower. And the only menu is what he decides you need today. Outside, the city rushes. In here? It breathes. There's no rush. No timer. You could sit forever. Some people probably do, and when you leave, he bows. Not because it's custom, but because it's care. There's a park in Osaka that grows more than trees. It grows pause. Reflection. Even poetry. A single path winds through bamboo, past koi ponds, under paper lanterns not lit since spring. On a bench, an old man feeds crumbs to birds. 2 teenagers sketch manga on the same notebook. A jogger bows before stretching, and somewhere, someone is healing. You feel it. In the silence. In the gravel beneath your shoes. In the way sunlight falls like forgiveness through the trees. Osaka hides its stories in places you'll walk past 10 times. Until one day, you finally notice, a rusted staircase leads to an attic shop that sells records from the 70s. A curtain reveals a museum inside a living room. A wooden sign, barely legible, opens into a library of local legends. There's no guidebook. No crowds. Just doors. Some open. Some don't. All holding secrets, you start peeking into corners. You start walking slower. You start noticing what no one told you to notice, and in doing that, the city finally lets you in. Everyone wants to check off Osaka's top 10. But the soul of this city? It lives in the places with no reviews. No likes. Just moments. Sometimes, the most viral thing you can show, that is peace. And if you ever wake up in Osaka, don't chase the city. Let it find you instead. You pack your bags thinking you're leaving a city. But something always stays behind. A street corner. A smell. A sound. There's an echo in your suitcase. No souvenirs, no flashy keychains. But a softness in your hands. From chopsticks held with care. From temple bells that still ring somewhere inside your chest. You don't remember every street name. But you remember how it felt when the city slowed down just for you. They say you never forget your last meal in a city. Not for the food. But for the feeling. You sit on a stool that wobbles. The air smells like soy, charcoal, and goodbye. There's one bowl in front of you. It's steaming. It's perfect. It's simple. The chef doesn't smile. But his eyes do. You slurp the noodles. Not because you're hungry, but because you're holding on. With every bite, you remember, and when you leave, the bowl stays warm, even after you're gone. Japanese train stations teach you one lesson better than any travel blog: all things move, the board flickers. Platforms change. People flow like a script already written, your tickets in hand. But your heart? Still wandering. A stranger bows. A kid giggles at a vending machine. The train arrives, not a second late. You step in, but Osaka doesn't wave. She doesn't beg you to stay, she just lets you go. Like she knows you'll be back. You think the journey ends when the wheels start rolling. But sometimes, the real ending comes in a flash. As the city blurs past, a flash of red lanterns catches your eye. A rooftop garden. A boy chasing pigeons near the tracks. All of it says, "Did you see me? Really see me?" And you realize you did, and that's enough. Osaka doesn't try to impress you. She never needed to. She just exists. Fully. Proudly. Quietly, and if you've truly walked her streets, you don't just leave with memories, you leave with a new way of seeing. Studio microphone, so go ahead. Show them the food. The streets. The color. But tell them this too: the real Osaka? It's everything. Every story has an ending. But in Osaka, every goodbye is just a softer way of saying see you again.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe.